Fortunately for most of us here, the money system that we use deals with the same place value system that we use for math. Our money system is based on tens, correct? And maybe this would help you out. Our time system, our clock, the way we measure time is not really based on tens, it is and it isn't. Okay, how many of you find it more difficult to work with time things than you do with money things? Okay, and that's the reason why. The reason why we find it harder to work with time is because if there were 10 minutes in an hour, and 10 hours in a day, and 10 days in a week, and 10 weeks in a year, everybody would be very easy to work with time real easily, but there's not. It's not a consistent thing that we're working with. Unlike money, where you've worked at it from your time you're little, it's very easy. In the place value end of things, when we talk about place value, we have this. We have 100, we have 10, we have 1, we have 1/10, and we have 100ths here. And they're all based on tens, and you probably know this. We have such a thing as a $100 bill, correct? We have the $100 bill, and we have the $10 bill, and we have the $1 bill. Here's where we get to the point here where we think, what is, in our money system, what is our 1/10 of a dollar coin? We don't use paper money to do these because it wouldn't be worth our time probably there. Lainey, it is a dime. It's 10 cents or a dime. And what is our 1/100th coin there, Elijah? It's a penny, which is 1 cent, which as a decimal is 0.01. Now notice we don't have, and we'll talk about this later as you get older, we don't have a 1/1000th coin. In other words, we don't have a coin that would take 1,000 of them to make a dollar. Why do you suppose not? Why do you suppose we don't have a 1/1000th coin? Brianna? Yeah, and it would probably cost us 10 times more to make that little coin than it would be, because if you had to go to the store and you needed to make, I don't know, the cheapest thing you can buy now maybe is a quarter. How many of these coins do you think it would take to make a quarter? Yeah, if it takes 1,000 of them to make a dollar, then how many of them would it take to make a quarter of a dollar? It'd take a quarter of those. It would take 250 of these guys. So if you walked into a store and you wanted to buy like that one bubble gum that's a quarter, you'd have to bring 250 of these things and plop it down. And imagine how long it would take the cashier guy to figure that out. The only place you will ever see this in money, anybody know where? No. Right. By the way, you will see it someplace. The closest one is probably no less than a mile from here. You will see a place that uses 1,000th of a. Matter of fact, if you went from here to Sugar Grove, you'd probably see about 6 places that use these things. Kate?
A bank.
Not a bank. Although you'd think banks would. Kara?
A gas station.
Gas stations. The next time you go by Shell, I don't know what the price of gas is, but look very closely at the sign. I believe it's like $1.89.
188.
You will see this though. Let's say it's $1.88.
Yes.
But next to that 8, if you look really closely, they'll either make a fraction that says 9/10, or they'll just be a little 9 up there.
Yeah.
What that is, believe it or not, and I don't know why we've never gone away from it, this little thing here is actually the thousandths place. In other words, really when you buy if this was the price on the pump, you're actually paying $1.89 or closer to that, because this little section over here is the 1,000ths place. This means you are paying 9/10 of 1 more cent, which actually is 1,000. It actually would look like this. If we wrote out in decimal form, it would look like this. But we don't have that in our money. But they put it up at gas stations. It's a clever way for them to charge an extra penny per gallon and you not really notice it. Okay, I don't know why. It probably started back in, you know, the 30s or the 40s when gas maybe only was like 15 cents a gallon. And if you had that little 9 up there, it was actually closer to 16 cents. And that's a big, I mean, back then that'd be a lot more, 16 cents compared to 15 cents today. But look, every gas station you go to, they'll have either a little 9 or a 9/10 or something over there. That is actually thousands. You could never pay with that, but that's what they charge you per gallon, $1.88 and 9/10 of a gallon. So if you wanted to go buy exactly a gallon, you really couldn't do it exactly, or they couldn't take your money because you wouldn't have it. They would just round it up to $1.89 and nobody wins at that. But, Drew?
So really, they owe you 1,000 of send it back.
Yeah, but see, the thing is though, when you go to a gas station, you put in the exact amount of money you want. You never go to the gas station and say, I'm gonna get 5 gallons of gas. You say, I'm gonna put $20 in. So they don't owe you anything because you put the exact amount of money you into the pump, not how many gallons. So if you would say, yes, give me 5 gallons of gas, then they're multiplying this by 5 and it would, you wouldn't be able to, oh yeah, you'd be able to pay it because 9/10 times 5 is another 4 cents. But yeah, you couldn't get exact change for most of it, but sometimes you could. So no, the gas station doesn't owe you anything. You're getting your money, they're getting their money, and everybody's happy here. But what the book kind of wants you to see with this is when you're making money, here's our little change stuff here. And you already know this and that's why it's good here. When you're giving somebody $4.56, we always try to give the fewest amount of bills and coins as possible. In other words, you're probably not going to drop how many pennies in their lap.
400.
Nor how many dimes would you throw in their lap.
45.
You'd have to give them 45 dimes and then a
6.
nickel and whatever there. Nor would you give them how many nickels. There's a good one. How many nickels is this?
Oh.
Double the dimes. How many dimes?
90.
Yeah, 91, because you'd have to have that
Oh, yeah.
extra one there. The book wants you to see, if you are giving somebody money this, you always try to give the fewest amount of coins and dollar bills as possible. So $4 would mean you'd have to give them what? $4. $4 bills. What about 56 cents? What's the easiest, fewest coins to use to make 56 cents? Now notice we've got some coins in here that we don't show. We've got the nickel, which doesn't fit anywhere. We've got the quarter. We've got the 50-cent piece all fitting in there. If you are, oh, you know what? They're going to make you only use, you can't use these ones that we don't show here. You are only allowed to use the decimals because they're getting used because they want you to see how decimals show. What would this be? That would be 5 dimes, correct? Because that's 50 cents. And then this 6 would be 6 what? 6 pennies. So I misspoke when I said they want you to use the fewest coins possible. They want you to use only the coins that are in our tens numbering system. And we also had back in the day, if you had great-great-grandparents, they probably talked about a bit. If you have a really, really old one, ask them if they know what a bit is. A bit. Maybe, and your parents probably know this, if you went up to your parents and said 2 bits, 4 bits, 6 bits, anybody know how that finishes?
No.
It's a cheer from back in the day. Now it'd be 2 bits, 4 bits, 6 bits, $1. 8 bits, here's the mathematical people in here. If 8 bits equals $1, does anybody know how much 1 bit would be worth? It's hard to do 1 bit, but maybe you can get 2 bits. 2 bits is 1/4 of 8, so what's 1/4 of $1?
25 cents.
So if 2 bits is 25 cents, 1 bit would have to be
12 cents.
12.5 cents. But back in the day, somebody would say that'll be 2 bits. It actually was pretty common back in the early 1900s or late 1800s. You could say 2 bits. I don't know if they ever made a 1-bit coin, but they would say 2 bits and you'd have to give them a quarter. Or 4 bits, you'd have to give them 50 cents. or whatever they did. I don't know why, might have changed a little bit there. Elijah,
Can you still get bits?
I don't believe so. I don't think they actually made a coin for a bit. I should Google that and ask. One more question they might ask you is this. In $6.24, what is the place value of a 4? By the way, I think we're doing all this so that they kind of get you thinking about what decimals mean there. What is the place value of this 4? What does this 4 mean? Now you can't tell me it's a penny. It's not 4 pennies because I want the place value. What place? This is the tenths place. This is the Isabel?
One's place?
No, this is not the one. This is the ones place.
Oh,
This is the tenths place. Remember in money, if you go back to the screen we just looked at, where'd it go? Remember, this is the ones place. That's a $1 bill. The dime is the 1/10ths place, or the tenths place, and the penny is in the hundredths place. So if we're talking about this, not that. If we're talking about this 4. That 4 is in the, right, we call that the 1/100ths place. Or you could say hundredths. Make sure you put the TH at the end of it. It's not hundreds, it's the hundredths place. So,